he found the deep cut extended Once Upon a Time. There was a little black girl, and you and I are like,
and I turn over to you and I just go, little black girl?
So then I just walked out and was like,
good evening.
hello, everyone. Yes, that's me.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pit Stop, the ultimate after show for RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 9. I'm your host, Trixie Mattel, and honey, do we have an episode for you today? Joining me is none other than the fabulous, the legendary, the Queen of Hearts, Jujubee. Hey, girl, hey. I'm so excited to be here. Let's spill the tea, shall we? Absolutely. We've got so much to talk about from this week's episode. The drama, the fashion, the lip syncs. It's all happening right here. So grab your drinks, get comfortable, and let's dive into episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9. All right, Jujubee, let's start with a quick recap of what went down this week. The queens were tasked with a fierce design challenge, where they had to create a look inspired by their favorite iconic drag queens from past seasons. The stakes were high, and the pressure was on. Absolutely. These design challenges are always intense because they really show who's got the creativity and the sewing skills to make it work under pressure. Plus, we had some major drama in the workroom. You know, the usual shade and alliances forming. Of course, let's talk about the stand-up moments. Who caught your eye during the design process and on the runway? In the workroom, we saw some queens really stepping up their game. I was impressed with how organized and focused a few of them were. But girl, the drama was real. There was tension between some of the queens over materials and space. It was like a catfight waiting to happen. Oh, absolutely. And can we talk about the alliances? It's only episode 3, and we already have queens forming strategic partnerships. Do you think these alliances will last, or is it just for show? It's hard to say. Alliances can be tricky because, in the end, it's every queen for herself. But having a buddy in the competition can definitely help with morale and strategy. We'll have to see how it plays out. Now, let's move on to the runway. The theme was iconic queens, and I was living for some of these looks. Who were your top picks, Jujubee? Jujubee, there were some stunning looks this week. I absolutely loved Queen's Name's tribute to iconic queen. The attention to detail and the execution were flawless. And another Queen's Name really brought it with her description of look. She looked like she stepped right out of a fashion magazine. Yes, and the judges had some strong opinions this week. There were some hits and a few misses. Let's break down the critiques. Jujubee, the judges didn't hold back, and I think their critiques were pretty spot on. Queen's Name really struggled with her look, and it showed. But the biggest moment of the night was the lip sync. What did you think, Trixie? Oh, honey, that lip sync was everything. Both queens brought their A-game, but only one could stay. The energy, the emotion, it was a battle to remember. Let's watch that epic lip sync one more time. It's always tough to see a queen go, but Queen's Name left with grace and style. Her farewell message was heartfelt, and I'm sure we'll see more of her in the future. Jujubee, absolutely. It's never easy to say goodbye, but this is all part of the journey. She's got a bright future ahead of her, and this is just the beginning. Before we wrap up, let's take a look at some behind-the-scenes moments and special guest appearances. This week, we had Guest's Name, who brought so much fun and insight to the show. Jujubee, I loved seeing the queens interact with Guest's Name. It was such a fun dynamic, and we got to see a different side of them. All right, Jujubee, it's prediction time. Who do you think has the best shot at the crown this season? Jujubee, it's so hard to say this early, but I've got my eye on Queen's Name. She's been consistent, and her performances have been top-notch, but you never know, there could be some surprises along the way. Well, that's all for today's episode of The Pit Stop. We've had drama, fashion, fierce performances, and so much more. Jujubee, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your fabulous insights. Thank you for having me, Trixie. This was so much fun. I can't wait to see what happens next on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9. Neither can I. Make sure to tune in next week for more tea, more shade, and more drag excellence. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Pit Stop. Until next time, stay fierce and keep slaying. For those of you sticking around, we've got some bonus content just for you. We're diving deeper into the episode with more commentary and exclusive interviews with the queens. Yes, we've got some tea to spill and behind-the-scenes secrets to share. Let's get into it. We've got some great questions from you, our fabulous viewers. Let's dive into our fan Q&A segment. Angeria says more intense drag race drama is coming on All-Stars 9. A bomb has gone off. Angeria Paris Van Michiels tells EO the latest episode lays the foundation for major scheming ahead. Though some of her All-Stars 9 sisters have teased the first season of RuPaul's Best Friends race, returning contestant Angeria Paris Van Michiels has likened new drama on Drag Race to that of a literal explosion. While no queens will be eliminated this season, Angeria tells Entertainment Weekly that after Gottmik won Maxi Challenges 2 weeks in a row, and subsequently had to block 2 queens from receiving benefactress badges as a result, tensions are running high in the workroom. Thanks in no small part, she says, by some scheming going on behind the scenes. Ahead, read why Angeria feels like Episode 3, featuring the fan-favorite Snatch Game Celebrity Impersonation Challenge, a vast improvement from the Season 14 disaster, laid the foundation for more intense plotting and gaggery as the season progresses, and who she feels is the real game master pulling the strings. RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9 continues Fridays on Paramount+. ANTRTAIMENTWEKOI. Before we get to the challenge, I want to talk about the start of this episode, when you came back to the workroom and pretended to be mad at Gottmik for blocking you. Were you actually kind of mad? ANGRAAPRISENICELS. I wasn't mad. If anything, I knew everyone wanted to block me, but I genuinely hoped they wouldn't. Obviously, something funny has to be coming. Georges was like, I would have blocked you, Mina, which she told her twice. I knew the rest of us were thinking that too. I'm like, maybe there's a chance they'll skip over me and block Nina. And Gottmik still blocked me. It sucked in the moment, but I wasn't upset. Let's say you won Episode 2. Who would you have blocked? Going into Episode 3, I would have blocked Nina West for sure. I completely agree with Georges. Honey, I see the strategy and logic. I know why. We did design and performance. Drag Race is all about comedy and acting, so something has to be coming soon. I wouldn't have taken that chance. Let's talk about Snatch Game. Your Marla Gibbs was so funny, but as we talked about earlier this year, Snatch Game isn't the best Season 14 moment. We know RuPaul thought it was bad. So what was his energy like in the room watching this one versus what it was like back then? RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9 cast teases shows congenial era. First season of RuPaul's Best Friends race. I did this Snatch Game because of her, because on Season 14, she told me I should have done Marla Gibbs, and I said if I get back on All-Stars, I'm going to do it. The energy was so much different, also because I'd already done Snatch Game. We're going to listen to Mama. I kid you not, I pulled out the wig, and she immediately said, Angeria, that's a Marla Gibbs wig. I wanted that reaction from her, and I felt that while I was doing it. You also had that Dan giant purse. It made me laugh every time I saw it. What did you have in that purse besides the leftovers? That's all that was in the purse. You saw how big the thing with the leftovers was. I needed some kind of plate or prop. That's what I was able to get my hands on, and it happened to be that big. That was just a big tote bag. That's all that was in that bag, was my leftovers. What were the leftovers? It was neck bones, collard greens, mac and cheese, a little bit of cornbread. Now, You know nothing was in there, Laz. I catered the staff that day for lunch. Were there any other Snatch Game characters you considered doing before landing on Marla? I didn't bring a backup this time. Had Rue not liked it or that I shouldn't have done it, it would have crushed me. I only brought her because I was so sure of where I was going with it, and that Rue would like it because she suggested it. Nina and Chanel came in with the same character. Who was the better Liberus? In my opinion, I agreed with the judges that Nina was the better Liberus. That comes with the fact that it was also Chanel's first actual Snatch Game. I thought for sure one of them would back down. Yeah, because Nina had backups. I think one of them was Ethel Merman, and then she had another one. I just can't think of her name. I think it was another lady. I think she was just so set, you could tell that Liberus was her first choice. I imagine it would feel weird to switch to your backup. I had a backup on season 14. It was Erika Badu, and RuPaul literally looked at me like, no. Speaking of Nina and Chanel, they each said they'd give a badge to the other if they won. Later, Roxy Andrews pulled Plastique Tyra aside and said she felt that Nina and Chanel were in an alliance. Plastique also said she felt like Nina played the game in a sneaky way. Is there more to the story? I didn't think that. I was so unaware of the conspiracy theories floating around the workroom. Me and Georges were out of the loop for a little bit. You'll see how it unfolds. Just know, a bomb has gone off. Me and Georges, in this moment, everybody has conspiracy theories of who is what and who's strategizing or who has alliances. I'm just focusing on trying not to be on the cutting block. It's for charity, but there is definitely some scheming going on. Between Roxy pulling Plastique aside and saying she felt Nina was scheming, Roxy also gave Gottmik the idea to give a badge to someone who already had a star, like you, to ensure they get blocked again. Is Roxy the secret game master? Oh honey, 3 times in the game? You can obviously tell that Roxy knows how to play the game called Drag Race. She pays attention to every single thing. We're only on episode 3, and it's already getting tense over blocking. Is this just the beginning? Yes, it is getting tense, but it's going to get more intense because we're going to start feeling the actual pressure of these blocks. When you eliminate someone, guess what? They're gone. They don't get a chance to come back to the workroom to say they're so mad you eliminated them. Until the reunion, that's not going to happen. The thing about blocking is you block them, they re-emerge, and come back in the workroom. Who will win RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 9? Episode 3 Power Rankings. How the 8 queens stack up after the Snatch Game. RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars has returned for Season 9, and 8 of our favorite queens from seasons past have re-entered the workroom to fight for $200,000. Only this time, instead of taking home the prize themselves, they'll be competing for charity and no one is going home. RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 8, Take New York. Next stop, the world. To that end, I've put together a ranking of the 8 queens competing on this season, ordered from least likely to most likely to be inducted into the Drag Race Hall of Fame. It's a power ranking, if you will, and while there are supposed spoilers on dark corners of the internet, I haven't read any of them. This ranking is also based on how likely the queen is to win the competition, not just go far, and takes into consideration everything that took place in the season's first 3 episodes. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, ALL Stars 9G. Thank you for watching.